Hello students. So in this video we are going to start with chapter 11 Work and Energy from 9th class NCERT textbook. Okay. So we'll be doing first work part of the chapter. Now first let me give you some examples. If you are sitting on a chair with book on the table, let us say you sit for 5 hours continuously and study. Obviously, your parents will feel that you have done lot of work by sitting on the chair and studying for 5 hours. But according to physics, you have done zero work. Even if you sit and read for 5 hours, you have done zero work. On the other hand, maybe your brother or sister has removed the book from your bag and handed over to you when you were sitting on the chair. So we say that from physics point of view, your brother or sister who has removed the book from the bag and handed it over to you has done little work, but you sitting on the chair haven't done any work. Okay, so this is one example. Now from this example, you may feel that according to physics, for work, some kind of motion is required, because when you are sitting and reading for 5 hours, you haven't done any work according to physics, because you are not bringing out any kind of motion. But on the other hand, when your brother or sister who is removing the book from your bag and handing it over to you, he or she has done work, because the book has been moved from one place to the other. Okay, let us consider the next example. Suppose you are holding 10 kg weight on your head. A coolie is holding 10 kg weight. I am saying 10 kg weight here. Kg weight is a unit of weight. Okay, not 10 kg is not weight, 10 kg weight. Suppose if a coolie is holding, let us say 100 kg weight on his head and is moving on the platform from one place to the other. Okay, so when he is having luggage on his head and moving from one place to the other place on the platform, let us say covering 200-meter distance, again from physics point of view, he hasn't done any work. If only he has done little work, that maybe suppose if you are actually putting luggage on his head, okay, and you are only the person who is removing the luggage from his head at the other place. So you do little work by keeping the luggage on his head and by removing the luggage. Coolie holding luggage on his head and moving from one place to the other is not doing any work. So here you will think that there is motion. Coolie has brought some kind of motion in the luggage, because luggage has been moved from one place to the other place. But still, from physics point of view, coolie is not doing any work if someone else keeps the luggage on his head or removes the luggage from his head. Okay, so it is you will find it very odd then how work is done when work is said to be done according to physics. Because in common man's language, when you are holding luggage and even standing still for 2 hours, you do lot of work. Okay, now actually work is a physical quantity. So when we talk about work in physics, it is a physical quantity. You know, it means that it is measurable. It has some formula, it has some units. So you cannot simply say little work or more work. In physics you say dash units of work is done. And to know how many units of work is done in any case, you should know the formula for work done. Okay, so before we see the formula, let me introduce some simple let me give you some basic knowledge about the algebra that is used in physical quantities. You know that when we talk about numbers, you know 1 plus 2 is 3, 5 minus 3 is 2. You can divide any two real numbers, you can multiply any two real numbers, you know how you can add or subtract them. Okay, so you know this is simple algebra. When we talk about physical quantities, you should know that Similar physical quantities can only be added or subtracted. You cannot add any two physical quantities. It means mass can be added to mass only, length can be added to length only, time can be added to time only. Similarly, two speeds can be added, two forces can be added or subtracted. Similar physical quantities can only be added or subtracted. So here I have mentioned, we know similar physical quantities can be classified into scalars and vectors. You know what do we mean by scalars? Scalars are the physical quantities which have only magnitude and no direction. Vectors are the physical quantities which have both magnitude and direction. Now, when I have given here examples, here 10 kg plus 2 kg is 12 kg. 1 meter plus 5 meter is 6 meters. 2 hours minus 0.5 hours is 1.5 hours. Similarly, we can do subtraction also. So, for adding or subtracting scalars, we use a simple algebraic method. 10 minus 2, 12. 10 plus 2, 12. 10 minus 2 will be 10. 10 minus 2 will be 8. 10 plus 2, 12. Similarly, 1 plus 5, 6. Okay. So, here for addition or subtraction, we use simple algebraic method. But only condition is similar physical quantities can be added or subtracted. But when we talk about vectors, we will not go in detail, but still I hope you know that when vectors are added, let us say 5 Newton and 2 Newton, when they are added, answer is not always 7 Newton. Answer can be 7 Newton as I have shown in the first case where I have represented 5 Newton and 2 Newton by the two arrows. In higher classes you will study that these arrows can be used to represent vectors where length of the arrow on a properly chosen scale gives the magnitude of the vector and arrow head gives the direction of the vector. So here when two vectors 5 Newton and 2 Newton, we know these are representing force vectors here, when they are added the answer will be 7 Newton in the same direction. So here in the first case where the two vectors are in the same direction, we do simple addition, 5 plus 2, 7 Newton. But when the two vectors are in the opposite direction, as in the second case, where 5 Newton is towards right hand side and 2 Newton is towards left hand side. In that case, although we are adding 5 Newton and 2 Newton vectors here, but since their directions are opposite, their addition will give us the vector 3 Newton, which is having magnitude 3 Newton and direction is along the 5 Newton vector, same as that of 5 Newton vector. Okay, and here we have taken the example when the two vectors are in the same or opposite direction. But when the two vectors are in different directions other than this, it means angle between them is they are not parallel or anti-parallel as in these cases. When they are inclined, as I have shown in the third case, where 5 Newton is along this direction and 3 Newton is that way, they are inclined. They are not parallel or anti-parallel. In that case, vector algebra is different. Okay, so you don't know actually how to add these two vectors. This is a simple vector addition, although it is all is based on certain laws. Okay, but since you don't know the laws, you don't know how to add two vectors when they are in any directions, different directions. You know only how to add two vectors when they are in the same direction or when they are in the opposite direction. Now, similarly, when we talk about subtraction, in the first case, 5 Newton and 2 Newton, when they are in the same direction, when we subtract, we get 3 Newton and that will be along the direction of 5 Newton only. Okay, and when we add these two vectors, 5 Newton and 2 Newton, when they are in the opposite direction, when we subtract them, what will be the answer? You will be surprised. In that case, although we are subtracting, but the answer will be 7 Newton in the direction of 5 Newton. Okay, so I am not here to teach you now how to subtract vectors. Or I just want to remind you that similar physical quantities can only be added or subtracted is true for scalars as well as vectors. And you know that, just keep it in mind that vector addition or subtraction is different than simple algebraic method. Okay? And at least when the two vectors are in the same or opposite direction, you should know how to add them. Now let us talk about multiplication and division. Now for scalars, let us recall certain formulae from your syllabus which you have studied in your lower classes or this year. Now we know that this is speed is distance upon time. This d is m upon v. You know this formula, density is mass per unit volume, ratio of mass of a body to its volume. Here I have used this symbol because in higher classes, instead of D, this symbol RHO, it is read as rho. Rho is used for density. So rho is density, rho is equal to mass upon volume of the body. Now from this you can get mass is volume into rho, and from here distance is speed into time. Now here when we see these all are scalar quantities. Okay, so for scalar quantities, when we divide mass by volume, just as we divide 10 by 2, okay, we will get the density. Only the units you should be knowing. You know that the different units will be there. But simple division is just like simple division we do in algebra. And even multiplication is as we do in algebra. Okay, so we can multiply and divide the scalar quantities by simple algebraic method, but we cannot multiply any two scalars. For example, here when you divide mass by volume, you get density. But it is not necessary you divide mass by time, you will get some sensible physical quantity. For here, speed is distance upon time. If you divide distance by mass, you will not get any sensible physical quantity here. So for multiplication and division of scalars, although the method is simple algebraic method, but you cannot at your will, according to your will, choose any two physical quantities like any two scalars and multiply and divide them. There are certain predefined or specific formulas which can be used, on the basis of which you can multiply or divide the physical quantities to get some sensible physical quantity. Now let us talk about multiplication and division of vectors. First of all, remember that vector division does not exist. It means no vector can be divided by any other vector. Vector division does not exist. So first let us see then how to multiply two vectors. Again, we'll not go in depth. We'll just see what is required for your 9th class. So students, as I have told you, vector division does not exist. It means there is no division operation for vectors. Now let us see only vector multiplication then. Now here I have represented this A bar. A with the arrow symbol over it, it represents actually a vector. It means this is a vector. Similarly, B is a vector. So we can read it as A bar or vector A, vector B. So vector multiplication is of two types. One is this. We call it as scalar product or dot product of two vectors. We can see from this here that we have two vectors, vector A, vector B. I have put a dot in between them, and this is equal to C, where there is no arrow over it. It means C is a scalar. So we can say here C is a dot product of two vectors. So this type of vector multiplication, we call it as scalar product because the result is a scalar quantity, or dot product of two vectors because we use dot to represent this multiplication. Okay, so dot product of two vectors is a scalar quantity. Now there is one more method called as, here I have not written, called as vector product or cross product of two vectors. This is dot product or scalar product of two vectors. Here this is called as, when we multiply the vectors this way, when we put a cross in between the two vectors and when the answer is also a vector quantity, we say this is the, not the scalar now, this is a vector product of two vectors, or we can call it as cross product of two vectors. So there are two methods of vector multiplication, scalar product or dot product and cross product or vector product. So as you must have understood that in the first case, when we take the scalar product or dot product of two vectors, result is a scalar quantity. It means this C has only magnitude and no direction. Okay, so here I will tell you what is the magnitude of C. Let us say A bar and B bar are two vectors which have magnitude A and B respectively. And let us say theta is the angle between them. Theta is this symbol. Theta is angle between the two vectors. Then A bar dot B bar is equal to C. C is a scalar quantity and C's magnitude is AB cos theta. What is A? Magnitude of vector A. What is B? Magnitude of vector B. And what is cos theta? You know theta is the angle between the two vectors A bar and B bar. Now what is cos theta? This we will not go in depth, but you must have studied, or you will be studying in mathematics, that sine, cos, tan, these are the trigonometric ratios which you study under trigonometry chapter in mathematics. Okay, so we'll not go in depth. I'll just tell you that sine, cos, tan is always of any angle. So here I have represented the angle by theta. Okay. So A bar dot B bar is C. So C is a dot product or scalar product of two vectors. It is a scalar quantity. It has only magnitude and the magnitude is AB cos theta. On the other hand, when we take the cross product of two vectors where the answer is a vector quantity, so we call it as vector product also. So this has magnitude as well as direction. Now, what is the magnitude of this vector quantity when we take the cross product? So here, the magnitude of vector C, we can represent it like this, modulus of C bar, or simply we can write C, which means magnitude of this vector is AB sine theta. A is the magnitude of vector A, B is the magnitude of vector B, and again here theta is the angle between the two vectors A bar and B bar. So at least you now know that, although we have not studied in detail, but at least you know that there are two methods of vector multiplication. One is dot product and the other is cross product, or scalar and vector product. So when we take the dot product, answer is a scalar quantity which has only magnitude, which is AB cos theta. And cross product is a vector product. Here the answer is a vector quantity where the magnitude of this vector quantity with this result is AB sine theta. And this has direction also because it is a vector. Here remember that direction of this will be perpendicular to both the vectors A bar and B bar. So direction of this vector will be perpendicular to A bar and B bar both. Magnitude will be AB sine theta. Although I have explained you this, but we are going to concentrate only on this dot product, only on this part of multiplication. That A bar dot B bar is C, that is equal to AB cos theta. So here A bar dot B bar is C is equal to AB cos theta. You know that we are going to study only this dot product. You should have this knowledge at least in your 9th class. AB cos theta. I told you cos theta is a trigonometric ratio. Okay, again without going in much depth, I have told you that theta is an angle. Just remember that cos theta's value for any angle lies between -1 and +1. Okay, so for any angle theta, cos theta will lie between -1 and +1, including these values. It means cos theta can be less than or equal to 1 or greater than or equal to -1. In maths, when you study this trigonometry chapter, you are expected to know by heart certain values, cos of 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree also. But here in science, now in this 9th class physics, you should know at least these three values, cos of these three angles. Cos of 0 degree. Now what is theta? Angle between the two vectors. So if the two vectors are parallel, they are in the same direction, then theta is 0 degree. And remember or by heart this, that cos of 0 or 0 degree is 1 always, plus 1. When two vectors are in the opposite directions, or when we say that they are anti-parallel, then angle between them is 180 degree. And remember, cos 180 or cos 180 degree is minus 1. When two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then angle between them is 90 degree. And remember, cos 90 degree is 0. For all other angles other than 0, 90 degree and 180 degree, the value of cos will be somewhere here. It means in this range only. Now, when the angle is between 0 and 90 degree, it means when the two angles are inclined such that there is acute angle between them, then cos value will be positive, but it will be lying between these two numbers. It means 0 point something. When the two vectors are inclined and their angle between them is obtuse, that is here between 90 and 180 degree if we say. So in that case, cos of that angle will be minus 0 point something. So what are the extreme values? Plus 1, minus 1. Plus 1 when the two vectors are parallel in the same direction, cos 0 degree is 1. When two vectors are in the opposite direction, cos 180 is minus 1. When they are perpendicular, cos 90 degree will be 0. So by heart these three values of cos 180 degree, cos 90 degree and cos 0 degree. And remember, cos of any angle can be either one of these three values or between this. So range is this only, minus 0 point something or plus 0 point something. Okay, so I hope you have at least now learnt or you will remember that dot product or scalar product of two vectors is a scalar quantity whose magnitude is AB cos theta, where A is the magnitude of vector A, B is the magnitude of vector B, and cos theta lies between minus 1 or plus 1, including these two values. And at least you know that when the vectors are parallel, what is the value of cos? When the vectors are in the opposite direction, what is the value of cos? And when the two vectors are perpendicular, then what is the value of cos this theta? Okay, at least you should remember this, you should by heart this. But again one thing, when you take the dot product, you cannot, according to your choice, you can take any two vector quantities and take the dot product and you can expect that the answer will be some scalar quantity. No, as I have told you, density is mass upon volume. When you divide mass by volume, then only you get density. Mass by length or mass by time will not give you, it may not give you any sensible physical quantity. Similarly, here you cannot choose any two vectors and take the dot or cross product. There are certain relations in physics on the basis of which only you can have two vectors dot product or cross product. Okay, so let us see now, on the basis of this, let us see what is work. So, seeing this, I think so you can easily define work. We can see here that work, which is represented by capital W, is F bar dot S bar. It means it is a dot product of two vectors, force and displacement. So, work is, you can define it as the dot product of force and displacement, and work therefore is equal to Fs cos theta. From here, if I ask you, is work a scalar or a vector? You know your answer will be work is a scalar because it is a scalar or dot product of vectors force and displacement. So here, although the two quantities on the right hand side are vectors, but their answer is a scalar physical quantity. So with this, our introduction part of the chapter 11 work and energy is done. We are going to study with this work in our next video. Just remember, work is a dot product or scalar product of force and displacement. So W is Fs cos theta and work is a scalar quantity. Please go through this introduction properly. If the introduction is clear, you will find the chapter very, very easy. Thank you, students.